Welcome guys to another Krita tutorial.
Today we'll be looking at creating the Batman logo.
This is what a finished Batman logo would look like.
This is a project that I gave my students right here. This Batman logo. Now, in order for us to do this Batman logo, we need to understand the Ellipse Tool. So we'll be looking at the Ellipse Tool today to cover this. So before we start, just let's have a read of how to use the Ellipse Tool. Firstly, you click and hold the left mouse button to indicate one corner of the bounding rectangle of the ellipse. Then move your mouse to the opposite corner. Krita will show a preview of the ellipse using a thin line. Release the button to draw the ellipse. While dragging the ellipse, you can use different modifiers to control the size and position of the ellipse. Make a circle instead of an ellipse. Hold the Shift key while dragging. To keep the corners of the ellipse fixed and only grow and shrink the ellipse around it, hold the Shift key while dragging. So one thing that we need to be aware of is that there are two options that you need to always remember. You always remember to use your Shift key if you want to transform the ellipse into a circle. You need to hold down your Shift key. Your Control key allows you to really grow and shrink the ellipse around it. I would demonstrate this when we go over into Krita. So this is, you can probably see here, if you've been paying close attention, you will see these circles here. 1 circle, 2 circle, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 7 circles we'll be creating using our Ellipse tool. But why do we need to create these circles? We need to create these circles because these circles are going to help us to draw our Batman logo. So let's have a look at, right, this is what we would do. We would take those circles and then we would fit it around the Batman logo, and then we would trim and clip them. And that's basically what the exercise will look like today. Now, where did I get these set of circles from? What's the meaning behind these circles? How did I arrive at them? Well, these circles are part of a sequence called the Fibonacci sequence. Let's go over here briefly, and I would just try to explain this, not too long. Now, the Fibonacci sequence is a set of numbers, is a series of numbers 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, and so forth. How do we arrive at this sequence? The next number is found by adding up the 2 numbers before it. So for example, the 2 is found by adding the 2 numbers before it, which is 1 plus 1, which gives you 2. The 3 is found by adding the 2 numbers before it, 2 plus 1. The 5 is by adding the 2 plus 3, and so on and so on. So we can carry out this experiment and you realize that we will get a series of numbers with a long list down here, which will start off with 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 38, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, 144, 233, 377, 610, 987, 15, 97, 25, 84, 41, 81, 67, 65, and so forth, so forth. All right. But what does all that mean? After recognizing that you get a series of numbers, how can we translate that into what we are doing today? Now, these numbers here create what is known as the spiral or the golden spiral, right? Where these numbers keep growing. So if we use these numbers that we just called as diameters. We can create circles, and it will create a circle that always continues flowing and spiraling, just like how we see it here. So you're probably familiar with this image. You've seen it probably around the internet. That is how that's how they've gotten that image, right? And this spiral is found in nature. So this is referred as the golden ratio or the Fibonacci sequence. Now, what do we need to take from this whole exercise? We need to take this number here, right? That number there. Why do we need to take that number? That number is what we are going to be using to divide our circles. So for example, I'm going to start with my largest circle, and then I'm going to divide the largest circle by this number to get my second largest circle. And then I'm going to divide my second largest circle again by this number 1.618 to get my third largest circle. And I'm always going to be decreasing in size till I get my seventh circle. Okay, so that's why this sequence is so important. All right, let's move on from here and let's look at what the sequence can be used for. The sequence is generally used to creating logos. So some of the logos that you see around the world have been created by the Fibonacci sequence. Here's the Pepsi logo. As you can see, it's called the golden ratio. The number appears again, 1.618. They use that to determine the size for the circles. The Toyota logo has been done the same way. The Apple logo has been done the same way. You can see the circles there, they've used the 1, the 2, the 3, the 5, the 8, and the 13 to get those circles. And then these circles are then, so these circles here, like for example, the 8th circle is used around here. Forgetting that point. And then the 3rd circle is used around here to help complete the apple. So these circles are drawing tools, but first you need to always know how to create your circles. So that is why I showed you this diagram. And if you come here, you'll probably be able to see how it works out. So this is the Twitter logo, and that's how it was created. Now, enough of that. Let us get back to what we are doing. So that tells us, or that allows you to understand how we got these circles and how I'm going to create these circles. Now, I'm not going to be doing any mathematical calculations here. I'm just going to be creating these circles. Then I'm going to create a group and move the circles to this drawing. Sorry, to this drawing. And I'm going to place them on. Then I'm going to fit them into place, into position. Then I'm going to trim them or break them. I think that's what the program calls it, breaking the segment, which is a form of trimming. And I'm going to then finally place a color into the shape which remains. So let's do that now. So the first thing is we need to create a new sheet, new file. I'm going to be using 11 inches in width by 8.5 inches in height. And my orientation is going to be landscape. So create that. I'm good. Then I'm going to bring in my image using the reference image tool. Click there. Then I come over here to tool options and add a reference image. Click there. And let's bring in this one. Okay, so it fits in nicely. I'm going to turn down my opacity because I want to be able to see what I'm drawing. So I turn it down to 37. I think that's good enough. Click out into the gray to make it back a ghost. Now I'm moving from off this tool to the ellipse tool. So I'm on the Ellipse tool. The size is too large for me. So I'm going to use the size 7, size that I'm going to be using. I am going to be using the basic size 5 brush, or the basic 5 size brush. I like using that brush. I'm going to be using a vector layer. So that means I'm going to delete this paint layer that came in. I'm going to access the vector layer, the layer menu, by pulling down this down arrow. I'm going to vector layer. Okay, so I'm on vector layer. I have my size 5. I have my Ellipse tool, and I have my color, which is this color here. All right, so it's everything that I need to set. Okay, so let's proceed. Click, left click, and I'm opening up, and then I'm holding down my control. As you can see, this is what happens when you hold down control, right? You can alter, and if I want to move this around, you can move it. Also, if you press Alt, I can actually carry the circle with me and restart drawing wherever. So Alt allows you to move from the location where you started, and then you can continue in another location. So you can press Alt and come back to here. Yeah. And I'm resizing this by holding Control, just shaping it to how I want it. And I think this is the point now where I'm going to press my Shift. So I lock in my Shift, so as I will get my circle. I think that looks good, and I then activate it by confirming, by pressing on the mouse pad and releasing. So that's my circle in, but it's not in properly. So what I'm going to do is go to the pointer, select Shapes tool, select the shape, and then just adjust it here and making sure it fits onto the line on the left side, the right side, the top, and the bottom. So I check all 4 quadrants of the circle, and they're in now. So that's in, that looks good. So I'm going to do the second circle now. So this is known as circle 1, right? This is my circle 1. I wish I were able to attach a tag onto it. So what I'll do is I'll put right here, and I'm going to call this circle 1. C-I-R-C-L-E, circle 1. Right? That's my circle 1. I have it saved. And why did I do that? So that you'll be able to identify each circle. I don't think I'll be able to do that for every circle, but that's circle 1 there. Let's move on. I'm going to be creating circle 2. Open it, hold down my control, bring it in around here, and hold Shift. Okay, that came in fairly sloppy, but no, don't mind. I'm going to adjust it right here. So I can adjust it by grabbing it and moving the center to the center. That's one thing I can do. And I think that does a lot. I didn't have to go to the size and adjust the size. So that works out well for me. Now let us create the other circle. So that's circle 2. This is circle 3. Got to adjust these circles. Okay, so circle 3. Let's go for circle 4. Have the ellipse tool, start drawing from the left, and we're going left to right. That's how we draw. So let's go through this again. We start drawing here by the left. I left click on my mouse, and then I drag it out. And then I hold my control, just to shape this around. And I hold shift, and I think I like it there, and then I release the click on the mouse button. Yes, I know this is slightly big, but I can come and I can reduce my size. By doing that, and doing that. That's how I reduce the size. All right, so I got my 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. I need to get my 5, 6, and 7. 3 more circles to go. Also, what you can do is you can copy the circle, Control C to copy. Then if you want special paste, as in paste at this point here, then I can do Control Alt V. So I have another circle there, and I can simply just, adjust that instead of drawing a circle each and every time. All right. So I'm going to paste another circle in. So I'm going to grab this circle, Control C to copy it. Once I got it copied, I'm going to place my cursor there, Control Alt V, and I place it in. It's right there. So that's a duplicate. It's right on target, and then I'm just going to pull this down. Just adjust the circle, and that is how I have created my 7 circles. So all my circles are there, and we can do 2 things. I can give them all a different color so that we would know, we'd be able to differentiate them when we look at them. Or I can put a label on them. I think it's going to be difficult for me to put a label, so I'm going to give them a slightly different color. So I'll go over here and I'll give them a different color. So I'll give this one a brown. This one. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. This one green. So what I'm doing, I'm giving each circle a different color so that I can identify them quickly while I'm moving around. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The last two will keep the same color. I don't think that's the issue. So far I've drawn my circles. Now, what do? I need to group them. How do I group these? I can either blue grab, which is come here and grab them all, or I could have green grab, just come at this corner and do the opposite motion. So start in this corner and go up to the left corner. Green grab or blue grab, start in this corner and come from the left and go down. Doesn't really matter. The idea is to grab them, select them, and then right click and place them into a group. So these are in a group. I can move them. I can do lots of fun things with them. I'm just going to leave them there, and I'm going to go back to my pin head and take out this image and place the other Batman image. So I'm going to swap these images. So I go over to the pin head. Sometimes I call it that, the pin head. It looks like a pin, I tap, then I click here I'm going to remove this image. I'm going to delete all reference images, delete, add a new image, and I'll add this one, which has the Batman logo. Okay, so what happened to my circles? Well, this image is at 100% opacity, so I'm not going to be able to see my circle unless I turn the opacity down. When I turn the opacity down, I'm able to see my circles. So what I'm going to do is just put the opacity at something. I'll rock it at 55. I think that's good enough. And then I'll leave it there. Then I go back to my circles. Now, obviously, these circles aren't the size that I need them to be. So what am I going to do? I need to now scale these. So how am I going to scale these? So after drawing the circles, what's the next thing we need to know? Let me come out and annotate over the screen so that you'll be able to understand this sequence, this process. The distance from here to here is what we have now, but we need to resize that distance to get it over to here. Right, that's the distance we need. Once we get our biggest circle to be that distance, all the other circles will be scaled suitably, will be adjusted accordingly, once you keep it in a group. So that's the challenge, to keep this in a group and to scale all these circles at the same time. So let's do that. I can hold down my shift here. So I come here and I hold my shift button and I pull. And I think that is about right. And then I need to relocate. So I'll clear off these arrows and then I need to relocate this back to the center, which is approximately here. Then I'm going to pull the shift on the other side, right? And the reason why I'm holding shift is because I want to scale these uniformly, right? That is why I hold shift, so as to make sure all the circles are scaled properly. Other than that, if you don't hold shift, you will find that it won't be done properly and you won't be able to complete the exercise. Right, so now this is in position. Yep, it's in position. And now this is where I'm going to save the document. So I'm going to save here. Let's save and see what's happening. So I'll put this as demonstration. Demonstration ellipse. All right. So now the next thing, to ungroup this and start inserting these circles. So I'm going to ungroup. And the first thing I need to do is start placing the circles around the screen so that I can find them. So I'm going to place my biggest circle here. Then I'm going to place second biggest circle here. And then I'm going to place, so I'm going to create an order. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can see my circle starting from the biggest. So I'll put here biggest. I can type in here. So I'll call this the largest circle. Now I'm going to increase the size. And I'm going to come here. And that's the smallest. So straight away, when we look at the image, we'll be able to see where we move from the largest circle, come all the way around till you get the smallest circle, right? So we're able to find all of our circles right here on the screen anytime we want to. Now, let's proceed. Okay, so I'm going to grab my largest, which is my circle 1, and I'm going to be inserting. So how am I going to grab this and insert? I'm always going to grab and copy. So Control C to copy. And then I'm going to be special pasting. So the first circle that I'm going to be placed. Okay, let me just drift back this circle here. This could possibly get into the way. All right. So I've copied it and now I want to special place it. How does special paste work? I'm going to place my cursor right here in the middle and then press these 3 buttons, Control, Alt, V. And you see the circle appears right here. So now I'm going to put this circle in place. Yep, just like that. So this circle is in place. Now, let us try to understand what I did there. This could be a deal breaker if you didn't understand. This circle would be trimmed at this point here, where we no longer need it, and here. So those are my trimming points. So all here would be waste, and all here would be waste. So that's the only part that I need a circle now, which is along. This is the part that I need from the circle. All the rest in red will be trimmed off. All right, so let's do that. Now, let's get to this. So the first thing, I need to convert this circle to a path. How do I do that? I go over to my Edit Shapes tool, click there, click on the circle, and then I convert it to a path. So I click on the circle, right click, and then it says path, and I convert. How do I know it's a path? Then you can click on the circle and the track lights up like this, and it lights up. You know you have a path. So once we know we have a path, I'm just going to hover to the area that I want. Then I'm going to right click and I'm going to insert point. That's a point there. Hover over to the next area that I want to break off and insert a point. Do the same thing, right click, insert point. So I have my 2 points there. Now I want to remove these areas behind the points. So I'm going to come there again, right click, and break at segment. Just like that, break at segment. All right, so seeing I've broken that segment, everything behind here can go. So we can click here and delete that whole circle. Click there and delete the quadrant. and this is what remains. So this is what I'm going to be doing for all my circles, putting them into place on a track and then clipping them. And then at the end, I will get the Batman logo shape. Okay, so that is circle one. There are a few other circle ones that need to go in before I move to another circle. So I'm going to special paste again because I already have it copied. Special paste, Ctrl Alt V, and it brings in the circle, and I move the circle to where I want it to be. So this is going to be a circle here, right along here on this track. Yep, that's in. Let me show you again my cutoff points. I'm going to do this for a few so you get the drift. So I'm going to be cutting it off here and here. So all this is going to be off. All that goes. Okay, how do I do that? Let's go through the process again. Now that you get the circle in, you no longer want to be on this option, this pointer. We want to go over to Edit Shapes Tool. It comes up there, Edit Shapes Tool. You select this by right-clicking, and then you change the path. Once you change the path, you will notice, because you will see these nodes, these quadrants come up on the circle, which when you hover, they turn from red to white. That's how you know you're on a path. And once you select, you can actually see the path light up here, like the track lights up. So now we can use this option to go wherever you want on the path, right click, and make a point. Come here, make a point, and then you come back here and break at segment. Break at segment. Now, once you've broken that segment, we can take these other bits and delete them, or we can also break that segment to remove them. But I like deleting them, all right? So they don't clutter the screen. When I delete them, I actually delete the rest of the segment and not just the area around it, because sometimes you can leave the points on the screen. Now, so far so good. Now there's another circle one that needs to go in here before we get out of the circle ones. So I'm going to call up circle one again, special paste in, which would be Ctrl Alt V. Bring that in. And where else does circle one go? Circle one goes around here. Okay, cool, good. Let me show you the points. Right there, all right there. So everything goes, and everything under here goes. All right, cool. Let's get to it. Change the path. Insert point. Insert point. Breakout segment. Breakout segment. And then these other bits over here, just gonna hold, delete. Oh no, can't do that. Oh my God. Okay. You have to select them with the shape edit tool, and then you can delete them. But you can't select them with the select shapes tool. You will select the whole shape, which means you'll select that whole circle, which although you have fragmented it, it still be considered a whole object. So you got to be careful which tool you use to select before you delete. You always select with the shapes, edit shapes tool, arrow, and then you can delete. All right. So now that's in, that looks good. So we have used the circle 1 3 times in 3 different positions. Now we need to use circle 1 again for around here. So press Ctrl Alt V, bring that in. Let me just set it up here. And this is basically what is done when you're creating these logos, or when you're creating this Batman logo, right? You bring in your circles, you place them, put them in place, you adjust them, make sure they fit well. Fit well, they only drop. Yeah. Let's see where this is. Let me just show you. Using my cut point, so everything under here goes, everything here goes. All right, let's get back over here now. Change it to path. Insert point. Right here. Insert point. Breakout segment. Breakout segment. And grab this. Delete. Grab that. Delete. And I'm pressing delete on my keyboard. Okay, now. There's another space where circle 1 needs to go. So I'll put in. And one thing, if you notice, I am grabbing the circle. Really look at where my handle is and look at where the circle is. I come by the circle closely and I grab it. So don't be afraid to come very close and grab the circle if you're touching the circle. Some people want to grab the circle from back here, but you don't have much control over the circle when you grab it from here. I would advise you come in and grab the circle by touching the circle and moving it. Your pointer should be literally hovering over the circle line while you're moving it. That allows you to put it in place and have better control over the circle. Now, let us change this to path. Path. Insert a point here. And you need another point here. So insert point here. And then breakout segment. Breakout segment. Okay. Then click here, delete. Delete. All right. So that's in. That looks good. And I think that's it for circle 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we used circle 1 5 times, and that's it for the circle 1. Now we move on to another circle. I am not seeing any points for circle 2 in this drawing. However, I'm seeing a circle 4, which goes in around here. So I'm going to go for circle 4. How do I get that? This is circle 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is my circle 4. What I'm going to do, I'm going to copy it. Control C to copy. Then hover over here, right at this point. Control Alt V, special paste, or what is known as the cursor paste. So I paste it in right there. And just like that. Just like that, that could be slipped in. Good. Now let's change this to path. And let me deal with this. I'm going to break it somewhere around here. Insert a point. And then I insert a point there. And then breakout segment. And we go breakout segment. Delete. All right. And then delete these points as you no longer need them. All right. So that's in. That looks good. That goes in very smooth. Now I need to. I'm just pausing because I'm looking to see if I needed a circle 1 again. Because I'm seeing a circle 1 here that I'm not familiar. Oh yeah, I needed circle 1 again. There was a point here where we needed to put in circle 1. I'm not seeing it here. We can put that in after, right here. That's done by the circle 1, right? But that can come after. So I've just placed that circle in. What other circles I need to put in? I need to put in a bunch of circle 6 around here. So let me just show you where the circle 6 is going to go. Circle 6 around here. Circle 6 around here. So this circle 6 here. There's 1 here. Then there's 1 there. There's 1 here. Then there's 1 here. So I can put in my circle 6 now. And then get back to my circle 1. So let's go. Where is circle 6? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that how it goes? Let's see. Is it circle 6 I want? It's circle 6, and then there's circle 5 that I want. So let's go with 5 before we get to 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Circle 5. So you know I'm going to copy before I move it from there. Control C to copy it. Then hover over the area that I need and Control Alt V. Special paste it in there. So that looks good there. That fits around there. Let us now change this to a path. To a path. Where do I really need this circle? Insert point here. And oops. Let me just cover over here and I'll insert another point there. So everything breakout segment, right? And then these are deleted. Deleted. Cool. So that looks good. That's just that area where we need the circle. Again, we also need a circle somewhere around here. So I'm going to paste it in. And then let me just move it around. So I move it onto that track and see what happens. I don't want to confuse myself, so I'm just studying this carefully before I actually break it, right? So I know, what do I know? I know that I'm going to put a breakpoint there, and here, and here. So I need it. Okay. So first, change it to a path. That's an insert point there, and then insert a point here. And break up. Breakout segment. Delete. Come closer, breakout segment. think I can insert point here and break off. Come on. Break up segment. Good. So that's where that goes. Let's leave that there for now. Let us move on to another circle, to another spot. So Control Alt V. The circle goes here. To complete. Yeah. I think that circle goes there and that helps to complete. Yeah, that helps to complete there. So now change it to path and break it. So let's go breakout point. Oh, there, not breakout point. I got to put in a point first. Insert point. And breakout segment. And where else is this stop? I think this stop somewhere around here. So insert point. Breakout segment. Breakout segment. Right. So that's in. We'll leave that there for now. I think we need to put in a circle 6 there to smoothen that curve, like along here also. And probably when we put in the circle 6, we might realize that the circle 5 was unnecessary. But let's just leave that there for now, right? And let's put in circle 6 up here at the top. Sorry, circle 5 up here. Cool. Let's break this now. Change it to path. Insert point there. And breakout segment. Breakout segment. So that's nice and clean. No problems there with that. Okay. Now I need to put in my circle 6. Circle 6 now. So I'm going to go over to circle 6, which is here. Control C to copy. Bring it back over here. Control Alt V. And paste it in right here. Let's look at circle 6 and see how circle 6 helps. Let's try it over here first. Okay. You see what happens? Circle 6 goes there. And you know what? I don't even think I need that circle. And I really check this closely. Yeah. So let's edit this circle. Change it to a path. Insert a point here. And point right here. Insert a point there. All the rest, breakout segment. Breakout segment. Breakout segment. So that's how that goes in. Nice and smooth. I could just probably grab that here and just bring that in. And if you look here at this one, you realize that I could possibly break this one here. Insert a point there. And then this little piece, breakout segment. So we can go back to the previous circles and just edit them. Like here, insert a point. And then breakout segment there. All right. Looking good. Now, let us paste in these are the circles. So we go Control Alt V here. And I put that around here and see what I can do. Okay. Let's see. I'm starting to think that we don't need this. So let me just pull it to the side. No, I do need it. I do need it. Or do I? Do I? Let me just pull it to the side for a moment. And this. Let's just deal with this one here. Let's see where this is going. This is going to be placed here. This, okay. So I need to change this to a path. I think that's going to come into play here. So may insert a point there. All the way to about here. Yeah. Insert a point there. And then the rest of this. All right. All right, so it comes here, it goes on to the purple, then it comes back on to here, and then this is where circle one would actually connect right here to complete. All right, so what do I need to do? I can actually clean up this. Let me just try to see if we can edit, insert a point here. And break that segment there. Insert a point here. Then break this that segment. So I'm just hovering until I see right that line, and I can break that segment. So what about this? Do we use this? Let's see if I can put this back into place. Let's see where this goes. I'm going to leave it here for now. Some people actually said no. I'm going to leave it here for now. Yeah, just let's leave it there for now. All right. This is soon finished. I need to go back for my circle one, which is my largest circle, Control C, and bring it in, Control Alt V. Just paste it there. Yep, that fits on there nice and snug. Now let's change this to a path and let's deal with this. So insert a point here, and I'm going to insert a point right here. On the rest of this, we break. Delete. All right. So that's in. That looks good. That's my Batman. That's half of my Batman logo. Let's see what happens when I go and grab this purple line now, which is circle 5. Can we delete that? Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think I can delete that. I'm just checking to make sure, because it seems we have a lot of circles around here touching, right? We can reduce these. It would. Yeah, I'll leave it. I'll leave it there like that. Yeah. I'll leave it there like that. So now what we need to do is we need to come on to the line tool. And this last part is fairly easy. Just drag a line up to here. And the line size needs to be let me put that at about 10. I think this could still be increased. So I have it at about size 17. That's good. Now I'm going to do a line again. Size 17. Can you start? And come over here, right? Let me just move this into position. Yeah, that's in position. And lastly, I am going to place a circle, Control C, Control Alt V, right here. This is the last circle. Then I'm going to trim it. Change the path. Insert a point there. Insert a point there. Break out segment. Break. So you can break out segment. Let's see. Delete these. That's around there. Insert point. Cool. So I've done my logo. There's one more circle that goes in, which is the smallest circle, circle 7 there. We can use that to end off. Yep, we use that there to end off. So we grab the smallest circle, Control C to copy, Control Alt V to paste. And yeah, change this to a path. Make a point, insert point. Break up segment, break up segment, break up segment, break up segment. Insert point, break up. Good. Finally. So just hold that and pull that in. So that closes off there, right? So that's how the logo, that's half the logo. Now what are we going to do? We're going to group this and then we're going to place it onto a new layer flip it, and then join them together, then select everything and put a color in. But first, let's get rid of our circles so that our circles don't really affect us. So just the circles could drift back into deep space. So we don't see them anymore. We no longer need them. So I'm going to save. We have done half the logo. Now we're going to grab, make a group, right? Create a new vector layer. Grab that group, Control C, to copy the group, go to new vector layer, turn off that. Then I'm going to put my Control Alt V. Yep, place it in there. Now what am I going to do? I want transform horizontally. Right? So I right click and go to transform, mirror horizontally. All right, cool. So I put that in over here. Yeah. That should fit in over there, nice and comfortable. Shouldn't be too much of an issue because it's the same thing. Cool. That's in there. Let me turn on the original. All right. So we got these two groups. Let me just make sure they're lined up properly, right? That's all we're doing. I think that looks good now. So these two groups are here, and what we need to do is we need to merge them, right? So we need to merge them. So I can grab them here, and I can actually make them a group, quick group. Yeah. So I've made them a quick group. This is something different. I've made them a quick group. Now that they are a quick group, they're a group tree, I can duplicate this group. Why am I duplicating? So if anything happens, I actually have the original. So I duplicate this, turn off that, and now I'm just going to deal with this duplicate group. So in this duplicate group, let's see, what can I do? What can I do? Can I grab? Yeah, do I grab everything? Yep, I can grab everything in there in that group. And that means I've just grabbed the full Batman logo. So if I go back to the pin head now and turn down the opacity, you will see that the Batman logo is grabbed, just like that. Now, I'm going to come and create a new layer, but this time it's going to be a paint layer. While everything is still selected, I'm going to grab the bucket tool and just get myself a color. Yeah, nice yellow. And I'm going to pelt it in there. Okay, that's it. That's it. If you want to adjust, another yellow, up to you. Yeah, this looks good. What's the Batman logo usually like? So let's go back up here and have a look. Oh, my bad, it is black with yellow. Oops, so that's a polo. Drop in the black. Okay. So it's there, looks good. Now we need to deselect this. You can press Control Z, so Control Alt and A. No, Control Shift and A. Let me see, did I get it right? Yeah, to deselect, Control Shift A. Control Shift A. Or you can just come out here to select and press deselect. And you're no longer selecting that area. Now, before we get out of here, we need to place, so I can turn off the group and you would just see the outline of the shape that I have placed in there. So I've turned off that group, and this is the original group here. So we turn off all the groups and we just working with the paint layer now. Now I'm going to create a new vector layer. Why am I creating a new vector layer? Because I want to put the circle on the outside, which is the wacky pin head. Let's just turn this up. What do we need? we need this outer rim. All right. I'm holding Alt now once I've drawn my ellipse, and I'm trying to put it in at a good place. Good. I think I got it in here, and it doesn't have to be exact. That's a good thing at this stage. All right. So I think I got that in. I'm satisfied with that. Just move this around slightly and bring this back in here. All right, cool. Cool. Go back to the reference image. Turn that down. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to select this, Control C, copy it. Then I'm going to paste it in here. Why did I paste it in? I want to reduce size of this. So I'm going to hold it at the corner here. I'm going to click it, go to the corner and hold down Shift. Let's reduce the scale of that. Why did I do that? Because I want to create my second rim around here. Hold up, Shift. There are two. Okay, so that's finished. Now I think we can touch this. There. Yeah. That looks better there. What am I going to do? Go back to my pin head or my reference images, turn that down. That looks good. No. What am I going to do? Go back to my vector layer, and I'm going to touch my outer circle and put a fill in there. Put the fill, and the fill is going to be a yellow fill. And I'm going to put that under, right? So that's going to be there. Then I'm going to increase this and change that to 75. 75, yep. 75. Then now let's look at dealing with the smaller circle. Put that about 25. 50. Okay. That's that. That's the Batman logo there. And you know what? I don't even think I need this circle there. Just looking back at the logo. I think what needs to happen is that this circle, the outer circle, that's 75. I probably need to put that to 150. No, put it at about 100. Yeah, 100 looks good. All right, so let us recap now. How did I get this? I got this by creating a series of circles. Let's go back to this image. First, we created a series of circles using the Ellipse Tool, and these circles are all put in at a certain measurement. I discussed this earlier. I used the Fibonacci Sequence to determine the size of my circles. So once I got my first circle, I then just divided all the other circles using this number 1.618 to get my second circle. Then I divided my second circle using this number 1.618 and so forth till I get all my other circles. The sequence is called the Fibonacci Sequence, so you can search for it. Fibonacci Sequence if you want to learn more on that. Now, what else did I do? Once I created my 7 circles, I made a group, I saved them, I swapped out this first image. And then I replaced it with this image, which has the Batman logo larger. Then what did I do? I placed my circles onto these tracks that I have already provided. And once I placed the circles onto the tracks, I made points on the circles where I need the actual arcs from the circles, and the other places that I don't need, I deleted them by breaking them at the segment, and they were removed. Once all that was done, I merged these. I created half of my drawing. So I only did half. I created half, made a copy, transform it to get the other half over here, line them up, stuck them together. And once they were stuck together, created a group, made them one group. And then I selected on the inside of the group, which is the actual shape of the logo. And then I inserted a fill. That is what I did. And in doing that, I was able then to insert color into my logo. And I use the colors that I generally see on the Batman logo, which are black and yellow. So this brings us to the end of another tutorial. Please, this is a long one. Please practice this. Slow down, rewind the video, and watch the technique, and take your time. As usual, please like and share this with others out there that are interested in learning Krita art, and subscribe to the channel to see more interesting art tutorials. I am out. Take care.